Hari Om and welcome to all the Divine Atma Jyotis to today's AVSC Satsang. Let us continue our contemplation based on Advaita Makaranda shlokas. So today our focus will be on shloka number 17. And in the shloka number 17, the Kavi is saying, something seems to appear sustained by absence of true inquiry. And this is like a mist in the sky of consciousness, which is there only till the sun of the inquiry rises. So this is what the Kavi is saying, and based on that, we've just now framed some questions. So as we go into the contemplation, we will look into these questions and see whether we have reconciled all of them. Hari Om Anupama ji.
Hari Om Vijay ji. Hari Om.
Hari Om, yeah. So today we are looking into shloka 17 Anupama ji, and we just now identified few questions. Would you like to take an initial lead on chanting the shloka and then also sharing your viewpoint? And then we can go into the question by question reconciliation also.
Vijay ji, I'll take next because my milkman will come now. It will be interrupted.
Okay, all right. How about Shilpa ji? Shilpa ji, would you like to do it?
Yeah, I can. I will try.
Yeah.
तथाप्याभाति कोऽप्येष विचाराभावजीवनः अवश्यायच्चिदाकाशे विचारार्कोदयावधिः. Yet something seems to appear, sustained by the absence of true inquiry. This is like mist in the sky of consciousness, which lasts only until the sun of inquiry rises.
Yeah.
How
would you like to do it, Shilpa ji? Would you like to share your viewpoint of what you're understanding? Or would you like to take the questions and then through them share your viewpoint? What is your preference?
I will go with the first option.
Sure. Yeah.
I will give a try because
Yeah.
I am not very clear with this question.
Yeah.
I'm just relating this as a follow-up point based on the earlier shloka, which spoke about the luminosity. But even the Kavi is saying, even without luminosity, or there is something that seems to appear, which is covered by the absence of true inquiry. So what I am attributing to this statement is that darkness or unknowingness or ignorance. That is how I'm considering that. That is something which will be there as long as you are not reaching to that state of knowing or getting to the state of enlightenment. But that something, whether Kavi is saying it is ignorance or whether Kavi is saying that smaller portion of luminosity still appears, that is not clear to me. Yeah, I think the second point seems to be very evident, that he's just giving a metaphor. It looks like a mist in the sky. So when we say sky as a clear object where we are seeing which gets covered by mist, so we can't see that clear object or consciousness. And that mist will get wiped off when the sun rises. So the second portion is, there is something is a barrier that is not allowing me to see the actual object as the way it is. In terms of object, here they are referring to as consciousness. Until something triggers in me that uh, I should start inquiring about why this is like this. Why am I not seeing the actual things the way they are? Until that quest happens, um, um, that's something again. I'm referring to as here ignorance. That will be there.
Very nice. And what do you think? You can, we were conversing earlier before the session started, and you spoke about how you got into inner engineering about 15 or 16 years back. From your viewpoint, what was the trigger? What made you to enroll, or what started? What were you seeking?
Um, I I was thinking, being a human being, I mean, um, is definitely is something more. I mean, we have got lot of opportunities to explore compared to other living beings.
Forms, other
For example,
animals, or living beings.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because they are contented in their boundaries, they are happy in their boundaries, and human, I felt even today, human is the only species where maybe our brain, our cortex is developed that way internally, whatever the science talks about, but we have that zeal to we are inquisitive, we like to seek the things, like even when God came in all the dasavataras, nobody just accepted them, right? So we wanted to know what was the purpose, why they have come, what they are doing. So I felt somehow that is the power which we are inbuilt with, and I wanted to explore that. Even today I didn't explore. I have started my path to explore. Somehow I feel that is there, that inquiry has come to me. And,
So somewhere
that
there
is the
is
answer
there's a
I
feeling
have,
of I
Vijayji.
want to know. Is what led you into this whole path? Is what you are saying?
Hello,
Am I audible?
hello.
Yes, Vijayji.
Okay.
Shilpa ji is also audible, actually.
Ah, okay. I think Shilpaji, am I audible to you?
Now I am able to hear Vijayji. Earlier, for few seconds, there was a glitch.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So according to what I heard from Rajita ji, looks like it may be internet
I
on your side.
yeah.
Okay. What I was asking Shilpaji is, so there was some sense of I want to know, and I don't completely know. So that feeling was there. Therefore, the journey started. Is that what I am
Yes,
hearing from you?
yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Now, any idea how that feeling came?
Um, mm, how that feeling came? Probably, um, maybe I'm not able to recollect now, but maybe um, by knowing some things about scriptures, by going through certain videos where they talk about these aspects. How come, I mean, we are talking about some different dimension, how did I miss all these things in my education system, in my life throughout, though I secured top ranks in my school, college, everywhere, but how come I fundamentally missed something that started building in my mind. Mm.
Very nice. Very nice. So you may not recall exactly how that feeling came,
Yeah,
but you are aware of a feeling of, okay, there is something more to know. Um, uh, and the journey started. But
yeah,
how that feeling itself came is a little hazy.
yes.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So, is there any other viewpoint you want to bring? And also, would you like to now reflect on these questions and see if you want to add anything more?
I don't want to add anything more, but now when you ask that question, for the first point in the sloka where it talks about something seems to appear, should we refer to that something as that inquisitiveness to know, or that hazy thing which triggers that? I'm just trying to relate.
Here, if you look at the shloka, the Kavi is referring to yet something seems to appear sustained by absence of true inquiry. So that something in the whatever the simile the Kavi has given is the mist in the sky of consciousness. The mist is being connected to the something.
Yeah, so ignorance should we
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So something that seems to be blocking. Mist is something that blocks the vision, right? So like that, something seems to be appearing, and the name can be ignorance for the time being. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that is the mist, equivalent of the mist, and it is sustained. It is there. What the Kavi is saying is it is there until the true inquiry happens. That is what the Kavi is saying.
Yeah, okay. So I think I can start with one small example.
Yeah.
Let's say when we start knowing a new concept, right? For example, Gen AI, which everybody is hearing from last 2 3 years. So generative AI, what is the technology about? Already some people would have explored. Researchers, Google have done a lot of research, and they have found wonderful solutions with those architectures and so on. But when I as a person, when I started learning that topic without knowing, because I didn't know, I started learning, that is a ignorance state, or which is covering me from knowing, um, which has covered me. First of all, I didn't even know what is Gen AI, right? So once I start hearing through newspapers and stuff like that, that is something which has triggered me to stop, to it's to which has created that inquiry, to start with that inquiry to know more about it, which has helped me to uncover that ignorance, or helped me to know more about what it is, what is its purpose, how it is developed, how I can start using it. Probably that is how I can relate it with a smaller example, Vijayji.
Okay. Okay. Very nice. Um, Hariom Deepaji, Hariom Kamalaji.
Hari Vijayji.
We are contemplating on shloka number 17, where Kavi is saying, yet something seems to appear, sustained by absence of true inquiry. This is like the mist in the sky of consciousness, which is there until the sun of inquiry rises. Meaning, when the sun of inquiry rises, it fades away, it melts away, is the reference the Kavi is giving. Based on that, we have framed these questions for shloka number 17. And so far, Shilpa ji has been sharing, after reading the shloka, her viewpoints about the shloka. So you can also now start contemplating. Meanwhile, Shilpa ji, is there anything more based on either the questions or anything else that you would like to bring up?
No, Vijayji.
In your viewpoint, what explanation or what inquiry you have done right now, through that are all the questions that are out there. There are about 5 questions. Do you feel they are addressed?
I think question D, yeah, I think it is addressed, Vijayji.
Okay, so let me prompt so that you can give a short answer, question by question. So something seems to appear. You're saying it is ignorance. For whom does that something appear?
For the person in the same example that I have taken, there is already a well established concept lying. But for me, when I'm referring here, me as something, me is that whom subject, where that ignorance is there, because I haven't explored that topic in detail.
Okay, so the answer is you are saying right now the me.
Yeah, me as
Okay,
and
me as in who is that me?
me as my inquisitiveness or mind, and maybe mind.
Okay, maybe mine. Okay, now that you also know through our previous sessions or through the Vedanta contemplation, what we refer as mind in English in Vedanta is referred as antakarana, and it has all these mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara as distinct aspects. So, is it appearing when you say to the mind? There is some concept called a mind, right? What can you be a little more precise when you say it appears to the mind?
Um, okay, maybe yeah, I remember you have shown the different segregations of it,
Yeah,
referring to as maybe chitta, the
chitta.
the one which helps me to learn the uh, uh,
Okay, so that you can recall, I can bring up the. This is the picture, yeah, that we have seen earlier.
yeah, buddhi, maybe buddhi.
Okay, so you are saying it is ignorance in the buddhi.
Huh. Ignorance is yes, because of no knowledge. Yes.
Okay, so the knowledge is not there, and in this picture, according to this picture, where would you say knowledge would exist?
Buddhi is definitely. I feel it exists. Um, I forgot the definitions of chitta and mana. Sorry.
No issues. I can help you recollect. So mana is where all the sensations are coming. So like the world, the so-called world, is coming into you through the five senses, right?
Yeah.
So they're beaming into you through the five senses, and that is like a delivery aspect. The eyes are seeing, the ears are hearing. So there's something coming in. Sensations are coming in through the five senses. So when they come in, that is the mana. The aspect of mind which brings the sensation is mana. Then the aspect of antakarana which discriminates. Oh, what I'm hearing is English language. There's a discrimination, right? That is the buddhi. How did it discriminate? By referring to the dictionary called chitta. That is where, oh, I've heard this before, and this is labeled as English. And that is where, if you recall, we had seen a crazy example, some chitta pitta too, and there was no meaning associated. Why? Because it is not in the chitta. So, like that, when a new sound comes, there's at least a recognition that there's a new sound, but there is no further statements. This is a sound of English, this is a sound of Sanskrit. That recognition or that further analysis is not there. There is only oh, it's a sound. And I do not know anything more about this sound. Like that, statements are made by the buddhi. And when buddhi is making those statements, buddhi uses I know, I don't know. So, who is that I in that sentence? Is the aham, the concept of who I am, who I think I am in this particular case. Oh, I do not know. When that statement is made, the inquiry hasn't necessarily happened very clearly, very precisely to define who is this I, but there is a I don't know. There is a focus on expressing what I know, what I don't know, but the focus is not on who is this I that I am referring to as me, right? But this is how the general picture happens. First of all, is that clear?
Yeah, it is clear.
Hmm.
Now, to answer to your question, Vijayji, I feel all these things are there when I'm referring to as whom.
As to whom? Correct. So They all belong to you. But who is this I to whom it belongs, all this?
Outer instrument, my body. Uh, uh, um, Again, if I differentiate from the boundary perspective, uh, because the other person knows it, other set of people know it. When I'm saying me and other, I'm differentiating from this boundary. So when I'm referring to me as uh, uh, again, I'm seeing that as ignorance, ignorance only. Um,
Yeah,
but
it is the ignorance that is blocking. Okay, that part is clear. But the question is now very precisely here, the question that has been framed is, what is that something? Ignorance. Clear. For whom does that appear? Who is saying I'm ignorant? Or whose ignorance is it? Now that we're breaking it into its constituents parts, where is ignorance? Or who is ignorant?
I mean, in this diagram, the outer instrument is saying that I'm ignorant.
That is how you hear it, right?
Yeah.
But is ignorance in the body, in the whatever we call as the outer instrument, is there ignorance in the eye or nose or mouth or ear or fingers?
Um, no, ignorance is not.
Ignorance cannot be there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where is ignorance then?
Ignorance is in the buddhi, is in mana, because I until I got to know that there is something through hearing, through
See,
reading.
mana is simply sensations, right? Mana,
Sensations are created when we through our sense organs, right?
correct.
So
There, it's carrying. Yeah. See, it is like the carrier, the postman, simply brings the package. Inside the package, there may be happy news or bad news or good news. But he simply carries, no?
yeah, carries, but because that mana carries, that is when the channels are open to know.
Correct.
Okay, what is the topic?
Correct.
Without that, I don't even get to know.
Correct. So, which is correct. However, the question is the ignorance in the mana then?
Yeah, I feel mana, chitta, buddhi, aham, everywhere I see ignorance.
So, mana simply brings. It is like, as an example, we say, right, don't throw the baby with the bath water. So it is like because the baby is in the bath water and the baby, let's say, after washing the bath water, we say, oh, it is dirty. Now, when we want to throw out the bath water, we don't throw the baby out. The baby is still there, but only the water is dirty. So we throw the water. Like that, mana simply is bringing the sensations. It is not labeling. Mana is not labeling. No, in terms of the if let's say the antakarana is made up of these four parts, just to understand, the mana is not labeling. Mana is not saying this is a good news, this is bad news, and mana is not labeling this is good knowledge, this is wrong knowledge. Mana has no such concepts. Mana is simply bringing all the sensations. Are you able to differentiate?
Yeah, mana is the starting
Correct. That is the starting point.
point, right?
So you're
Yeah.
seeing something, you're hearing something, you're smelling something. Correct. That is the starting point. No doubt about it. It is simply bringing the sensations. So the question is simply the sensation the cause of ignorance?
Um, I, 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 I can't. I won't say that it is the only cause. I can say
Correct.
it might be contributing to the cause.
It is contributing to the cause in the sense that, okay, now let's go a little further. So when the sensation comes, as an example, What am I seeing? Okay, I'll give an answer, pouch. So now the answer came because there was a sensation that came in through my eyes of that object. The answer was found out in the memory bank called Chitta, and it was discriminated among all different possible answers that could have been given. Buddhi decided to give the answer as pouch. Is the mechanism clear?
Yeah, mechanism is clear. So,
Clear. Now, when the Buddhi is giving this answer, the Buddhi stuck to the idea of only the outer form, right?
yeah.
And let's say now, before I answer that, oh, it is pouch, if I pause a little and I ask, is this truly a pouch? If I ask that question, is this really a pouch? What is your answer, Shilpaji? Is this really a pouch?
My answer is, I mean, I'll still again repeat this cycle of um, getting a confirmation. I'll try to do introspection. Okay, whether it is really a pouch, then I'll focus on it. Yes, again it starts from mana, chitta,
Which
and
is
I will
okay. From
confirm
where it
that
is
it is a
beginning is
pouch.
okay. But now let us focus on the answer that is coming out. Now focus on the question. The question is this really a pouch?
Uh, no, it is not a pouch.
Okay. Why is it not a pouch? Or what it is?
Why it is not a pouch is because I have seen that and I have registered it as a case. I think it is some glass case, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm just using the word pouch. You are calling it as a case. Okay. Now then let me rephrase the question. Is this really a case? Glass case.
Yes.
Okay. Now when the Buddhi had to discriminate that as, yes, this is a glass case, it took some attributes into picture, right? The shape,
Yeah.
the length, and the opening. And you might have seen this earlier. Okay, somebody puts this, removes this, right? So you have seen all this. So now therefore the natural answer is yes, it is a glass case. That is how the answer came up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now let's say the question, let's focus on the question. Is this really a glass case? That is a question. What is really a glass case? So, where was this glass case sometime before it was manufactured?
Not existing.
Not existing at all. So, as this form, it was not existing sometime before. Before it got manufactured, it was not there.
Yeah.
But what has come together as the glass case?
Yeah, the material, the
So
effort to
something must have
uh,
existed before
yeah,
it became
yeah,
a glass case,
yeah,
right? Some
yeah,
raw material.
yeah.
Now let's continue that inquiry. What is that raw material? Let's say in this case, what is this raw material this glass case is made up of?
Probably some leather or
Some leather.
cloth. Yeah.
Okay, let's say some leather, for the sake of discussion. Okay, where was this leather before it became a glass case?
It was on an animal.
It was on an animal. Was that leather always there?
Was that always there? Depends.
That animal, in other words, see, that leather must have been taken out of that animal, maybe for the sake of discussion, let's say after its death. Let's say it's some animal and the leather was stripped. So the question is, was that leather always there?
It was always there in terms of as long as the animal was there.
Yeah. So before the animal came into existence, was that leather there?
It's a good question. At least this leather was not there.
Was not there. Then where was this leather that became the material for this glass case?
Um, um, I
What
don't.
became the leather
Mhm.
of that animal?
Um, it is the way how that animal is designed to. It helped or it supported that system to uh, get that leather to that animal.
Correct. But
When the
what became the leather? Something must have become the leather, no? Something must have now become the leather, no? It's just like this pouch
Mm,
is from the leather. Something must have come together to make the leather, no?
yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, I can just simply say it is from the food, from the things that
That the animal has eaten. That's the
animal
only
would have.
natural answer that seems to appear, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so let's say the animal is eating grass. So before the case, it was leather. Before leather, it was grass. Was grass always there?
No.
No. So what appearing or what appeared as grass?
Um, what appeared as grass? I'm not understanding the question.
So something must have appeared as grass. No, grass was not always there.
Maybe soil.
Maybe soil. Okay. So now what we are let's
I,
continue to track.
yeah.
Leather case to leather, leather to grass. Now grass to soil. We have come up to soil. Was soil always there?
Mm, maybe not. At least before when I confine the answer to the planet Earth,
Hmm.
probably maybe not. Maybe some millions years ago, it might have got formed.
So for the time being, let's say soil, right? So when
Hmm.
you look at the soil, in the way that it appears as soil, it was not always appearing as soil. Maybe sometimes it was also stone.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes it was, you know, the process. You know, it may have been a trunk of a tree
Yeah.
that became soil, right? So it was not always a soil. So something is appearing as soil, as grass, as leather, as pouch. Now see, now Buddhi cannot answer simply, it's a glass pouch, it's a glass case. Because now Buddhi is deepening its inquiry and asking, what is it really? What is it really? Now, if I prompt that Buddhi, don't you remember what has been taught in your science as what is anything made up of? What is matter? What is the usual science answer? Any matter, whether it is a pouch or leather or grass or book or whatever it is. What is matter? The uh, so-called science answer, it would say it is made up of some molecules. What are molecules? Now, if I prompt it further, made up of atoms. If I continue to prompt further, what are atoms? Some other subatomic particles.
Protons, electrons, neutrons.
What are subatomic particles?
Yeah, okay.
The
Frequency.
current known answer is it is energy in some state of vibration.
Yeah.
So just the very object that is appearing in front of us, the current known answer in terms of what you and I go to school and study is some energy in some state of vibration.
Mhm.
Are you with me so far, Shilpa?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So energy in some state of vibration. Now the buddhi can prompt this immediate question: can I see energy in vibration? Can anyone see energy in vibration, Shilpa ji?
Definitely I can't see without some instruments.
No, even with instruments, has anyone seen energy?
I mean, feel. No,
Has
it
anyone seen
manifests.
energy?
Seeing and seeing, no.
Energy. Now look at the beauty of this, or the magic of this. There is something called energy that all of us agree that there is, because the one of the foundational fundamental reasoning in science begins by accepting that there is energy, and energy can be neither created nor be destroyed.
Or destroyed.
It is accepted. You cannot question why it is so.
Mm.
And only with that assumption, only with that foundational acceptance, rest is built. And even in that, if you ask, has anyone seen energy itself? And the very question, what is energy, is also very confusing. You cannot define what is energy. You know how energy is defined in science? It's
MC
the
square.
ability to do work.
Yeah.
So in terms of the transformation capability, energy is defined. But nobody defines it as what is energy.
Absolute definition.
There is no absolute definition of what is energy. Its ability to do some work is defined. Its ability to do work. It is there in different forms, electrical form, water form, different forms. It is there in different forms. Hydroelectrical energy, magnetic energy, like that, we give different names to it. But something seems to be there fundamentally that you and I, meaning what? Through the instrument of our mind, are not able to define, but we are able to clearly perceive it is there. What it is, nobody can define through the spoken words, but it is there. So now, through this inquiry, what has happened to the pouch?
It has become energy.
It has simply become energy. As energy, there is no form, there is no definition. But as a pouch, suddenly, look at the beauty. Something that cannot be seen seems to be creating an effect that can be seen, touched, felt, smelt. All these five senses, whatever the sensations that are coming through the five senses, are, in other words, I can say, nothing but play of energy. Because fundamentally, for something to appear, to be heard, to be, a sensation of smell, that energy must be the cause only, no?
Yeah.
But that itself cannot be seen. But its effect is being seen.
Yeah.
And when its effect is being seen, the effect seems to come and go. The pouch was never always the pouch, was not always the pouch. It was sometime back leather. Sometime back it was grass. Sometime back it was mud. So the energy seems to be going through transformations, but energy itself fundamentally cannot be created nor destroyed. So when I see this as energy, then I can realize that as energy, it is neither created nor destroyed. Simply, depending upon your level of inquiry, it is appearing as that or this. It is appearing as mud or grass or leather or pouch. Just like how in one of our sessions we saw how in the movie theater, light is appearing as various characters on the screen.
Mm.
So now, what made me initially answer that this is simply a pouch?
Because of chitta.
Because of memory, correct. But also because what followed our discussion afterwards?
Inquiry followed.
Inquiry. We started inquiring, is this really a pouch? In the absence of that inquiry, it would have remained as a pouch.
Mm.
So where is ignorance then? To who is the ignorance?
Mm. Don't know.
And that's the mystery. So it's hard to define to who is the ignorance. But in terms of this picture, who is the ignorant fellow? The aham. Why the aham exists in the first place? You know who I am. Why is that answer coming in the first place? You know who I am. I am a man. So who are you? What's the answer that comes? I'm a man. I'm a woman. Why that answer is coming? Because the inquiry hasn't happened. Who I am truly, that question hasn't really been asked. Who am I? Who are you?
Again, energy.
Fundamentally, right? Now see, now that answer did not need a lot of prodding. And is it an answer out of conviction or is it an answer out of textbook?
It
What
is
you just
not.
now gave, is it an answer out of your own inner conviction?
Yeah, it is. It is, yes. Not from textbook.
Not from textbook. Now that I'm seeing, I cannot but give the answer that it is some energy. I am some energy. I cannot confine myself as that or this. This is what the Kavi is pointing at. So where is ignorance? Ignorance is in because it seems to be there. Ignorance seems to be there because I have not yet inquired. But if I continue to prompt you, where is ignorance? One answer that can be given is it's in the chitta, because it's the memory bank that you refer to give an answer. No, where did the answer lie that this is a pouch? In my chitta. So in that way of answering, I can attribute ignorance to chitta. Or if I continue to prompt, no, but chitta was looked into by the buddhi, then the answer may shift to looks like it's the buddhi that is making the ignorant comments, ignorant decisions, wrong decision. So the ignorance is in the buddhi, because it's the buddhi ultimately that decides. No, there may be so many information in the mind, but it is the buddhi that makes the decision. No, so in that sense, then the ignorance is in the buddhi. Then if I further prod and further prompt, who is wielding the buddhi? Who is holding the buddhi? On whose behalf the buddhi is functioning? Who is that who is saying that I am of the opinion that this is a pouch? In that sentence, I am of the opinion. I. Who is this I? Because the buddhi was used to make the discrimination, that make that statement. This is a pouch. But who is this I who's wielding the buddhi?
Aham.
Aham. And who is this aham? Who is this you? Who are you? Until that root inquiry hasn't happened, I continue to be a concept in the mind. And therefore, that concept, in relation to that concept, every other concept emerges. Because I am some form, this must be some form, is the fundamental ignorance in that answer. This is a form. So until I is not inquired, rest everything continues to be an ignorant answer. That is the mist that the Kavi is pointing at. Here, ignorance is, yes, I can have ignorance on various topics. But the fundamental ignorance is that of the who I am. Because all other ignorance is built upon that foundational ignorance. Are you able to see that?
So someone here in the question refers to once I'm defining the boundaries to myself with identities, that portion should I consider as someone as
Correct.
ignorance?
Because that is who you think you are at that point in time, right?
Yeah.
When you are interacting with your husband, you construct the identity called wife. Interacting with daughter, mother. So these identities are constructed. They're constructed temporarily. However, that whole process is not necessarily inquired. So it seems to be, there seems to be some I, and that seems to be going through life. There is never a pouch. And there is never that mother or daughter or wife. It is simply an appearance in a kala and desha. Is that clear, Ji?
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I think I'm seeing every shloka where I'm part of in the contemplation. It is always opening up the answer in different ways for the same question. And but still I'm taking lot of time to get to that clear understanding.
No. Don't focus on time.
Yeah.
Because that itself is another question. To who does the time exist?
Yeah. It is again I'm defining the boundary. Aham. Yeah.
Aham. Whenever you become, I am somebody, I am something, for you ignorance exists. That I feels I am ignorant. But are you ignorant? Are you of the nature of ignorance?
Actually, no.
You are never ignorant. You cannot be ignorant.
Yeah.
But if you do not examine, you'll associate with something that is not you and say, I am ignorant. I don't know when I will be enlightened. I don't know when my ignorance will drop.
Yeah.
Because you're continuing to associate yourself with a particular concept, a boundary that appears.
I'm very, very clear, Vijayji. I'm able to introspect to the answers I gave you when you asked initially, and even the example I have taken, I'm able to relate it.
Very nice. Now can you reconcile to all the questions here?
Yeah, I will definitely give it a try. Yeah. So here what is that something that seems to appear? Yes, that's something we are referring to as ignorance. For whom does that something appear is once we are confining ourselves to our boundaries of identities, which we call as aham. That is what something of whom is referring to here. And what is true inquiry? Like the example we have taken today, the true inquiry to know um, uh, to know about the actual or the very nature or very source. Uh, uh, I mean, to know the actual inner behind that object. I mean, I'm just referring to as an
Correct.
example
Correct.
saying
Correct.
here.
Yeah. Yeah. Please continue. Yeah.
That is what is considered that itself is called true inquiry.
Correct.
Though we may appear, though we may consider that sometimes, like in the first attempt I gave, it is a pouch, right? So unless I do that true inquiry, I mean, and we have to do the true inquiry to know what it is actually, in order to forego the ignorance that it is actually not a pouch, though it appears to be because of my ignorance, until I do the true inquiry to remove that ignorance.
Correct.
What triggers the person to begin true inquiry? It's what triggers a person, at least in our example, maybe your probing has triggered, or okay, I think I should say that uh, uh, moving from ignorance uh, is the starting point to uh, which I can say it triggers the true inquiry.
Uh,
I mean, when I know myself that I'm not bounded by this, that itself will allow me to inquire the actual. Uh, uh, I mean, it's to start to begin that true inquiry. So,
Shilpaji, or I would say, like, what caused you to, what made you to join this satsang where the inquiry is happening?
Because I was bound by uh, uh, the materialistic things, or whatever the example Vijayji has told, because I was always thinking, because I was always binding myself to the physical entity, to an identity as a human being, like that. So that has caused me to begin that that ignorance has actually caused me to, I mean, thinking that I'm ignorant has caused me to begin my true inquiry.
Wha- I want to ask again, like, what made you think that you are ignorant? What was there?
What made me to think I'm ignorant? Because uh, I because I'm always I was I'm always binding myself, uh, separating that I don't know other things, I don't know some things. Uh, that ignorance itself was a trigger. Sharavananji, I don't know if I answered to your
Hmm.
question. That is actually, I am now relating that has triggered me. Probably, maybe I'll put it in a different way. Probably, had I known that, because I'm binding, maybe had I known the ways that I should unbound myself. Again, myself I'm referring to, again, identity only. Um, if I start looking the things the way they are, if I start accepting the things the way they are, instead of confining, keeping into closets, probably maybe I might not have even started a true inquiry, because probably I would have known the answer. So maybe that ignorance has triggered me, is what I feel, Sharmananji.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
that is a when that ignorance has started, no way to answer that. However, you can clearly identify somewhere along some spark has come that has lit a fire. Now um, it may not be in the memory to exactly identify what is that spark that lit that fire, but somewhere that the longing to know, longing to um, become something that is not bound, what you already referred as, there's a natural longing to know, right? In other words, one can say, whenever you are bound as an aham, there is a natural limitedness that happens as an aham, as a limited aham. I may be a big man, I may be a small man, I may be a rich man, I may be a poor man, but whatever it is, when I'm a man with whatever adjectives, I'm still limited. So therefore, the natural movement seems to be to become something much, much bigger. If you notice the movement of life, anyone's movement of life is towards becoming something bigger than what it is currently or what they are currently. There seems to be something that makes the movement happen very naturally.
so that, can we call that what as swabhava, or can we call what
Yeah,
uh,
your swabhava is infinite size. You are not of a limited size,
hmm.
because it is like, how can I confine infinite in a small room? So therefore, there is a natural dissonance that starts. You are of the nature of peace. So whenever life situations start disturbing, a natural dissonance starts.
Or should we also say that what triggers the person, um uh, is it also the effect of karma, vasanas,
Absolutely, absolutely. So Shankaracharya ji says, what made me start the inquiry in the Tattva Bodha? Sukrita. So Sukrita has brought you to the Sadguru. Sukrita means what? Past karmas. Our life situations are due to past karmas. What kind of you have the luxury of finance, time, technology, inclination to be part of a particular process of inquiry, no? Now, please notice why some people are not triggered. Some people are bound only to fill their stomach. They don't have enough money so that they can get enough food. So many people go hungry, no? In a hungry stomach, where is the self inquiry? Because the stomach, the physical nature forces you to get into survival mode. That's the play of the nature. So for you, you've been able to overcome that need for constantly worrying about food. Where is my next food going to come from? That itself is due to accrual of a certain good karma. On top of that, the right kind of education, the right kind of samskaras, and right kind of now circumstances, financial, material, family support, right friends, right environment. So if you notice, it's a miracle. It's a miracle that the ambience for that growth appears. But much like how any particular seed, when can it sprout, become a tree, and be that flower? Only when the right environment is there. So that right environment can be many. In the case of Arjuna, the war was that right environment where he really wanted to run away. But amongst all that running away feeling, he had the mindset to pause and ask Krishna, please guide me. I'm confused. So when the ego runs its course, and when the ego is ready to surrender, that is the true meaning of surrender. Surrender means what? The ego entity has run its course. In the case of Arjuna, it was the imminent threat of war and destruction that made the ego say, I cannot handle this. And the ego surrendered. Only in the surrendered state of the ego can true inquiry happen. As long as the ego continues to foster, true inquiry cannot happen. Somebody may have asked during the altercation, who are you to say like this? That is also could have been a trigger. But in that altercation, because I am somebody, that the intent of the question was not really seen. You may know the story of Sant Tulsidas. You may know that he was very lustful towards his wife. One night when it was raining, pouring, looks like he went to be with his wife. And seeing his desperation, his wife says, if at all you had the same desperation for Rama, by now you would have been liberated. And appears that particular set of words resonated deeply within him and triggered him to become Tulsidas, is what the story says. Like that, Sadguru's grace can come to anyone's life in any form. And it is the preparedness. The environment was apt. Due to whatever past karmas, the environment was apt. In the case of Ratnakara, to turn into a Valmiki, he was ready. He was ready to let go. When Narada Muni appeared in front of him, and when Narada Muni asked him the simple question, you're doing all this killing and murdering, who do you think you're doing it for? He says, look, my family, look, my fellow thieves. Then Narada Muni asks, will they carry all this karma? He says, yes. Look, when I steal something and take home, everybody partakes in it. They will go and ask, will your father or will your mother or will your wife or will your son, will they carry? Because they are the nearest. Leave alone these fellow thieves, fellow friends. Ask your wife, will she carry your karma? And he goes and asks. And his wife says, I have taken the oath to walk with you. Come what may be the situation. But how can I carry your karma? And that weight of that, whatever he has done and whatever the grief he has caused to all those people, and the feeling that there is no one else that can carry the weight of the karma, but I alone have to unburden it, brought that Ratnakara's ego to its knees and surrender in front of Narada Muni. So true inquiry can begin only when, through whatever sukrita, ego is willing to submit. I am not the ego, but I seem to be functioning as the ego, bound by the ego. So in a way, letting go is my truest liberation. But until that happens, I'm so bound by that limitedness that I want to protect that limitedness. And that's a mystery of life.
So can we say the trigger itself is a beginning and ending of true inquiry?
If the trigger is true, it's the end of it. Because what is that I need to recognize? That ego is unreal. So ego is unreal means what? Whoever I have been thinking I am is unreal. And the inquiry has begun from that unreal. It has never been real. So the moment you recognize that I am that ever illuminating sun, in that moment of clarity, the dissolution can happen if you are willing to submit the ego. And that is why the Kavi is saying it's like a mist. That sense of self-identity is that mist. Is this bringing clarity, Shilpaji?
It's very much bringing clarity.
Can you continue and reconcile the others?
Yeah, I think we spoke about even the point D, right? In a way. So the trigger which creates that inquisitiveness for true inquiry itself can be considered as the exit criteria, because that itself opens up the thought to unbound ourselves, or to to wipe out the ignorance.
Yeah.
What is the change, or what are the changes in a person after culmination of true inquiry? uh, I don't say inquiry stops, well, but I can say that, I mean, I'm contradicting. On one side, I said when the true inquiry starts, it is stopping, or it is an exit criteria. But uh, what are the changes? Probably, um, I won't say true inquiry will stop, uh, uh, or that person starts realizing, um, or
No,
maybe that
let me prompt this question.
uh,
When you saw that that ego is a made up thing, and you are not that ego, what is more?
um,
And I asked you the question: is it out of your conviction that you're answering, or is it a book answer that I am simply that energy? When I asked you, and when you said I am simply that energy, when you answered, and I prompted, is it a conviction or is it a book answer? You're very clear. It's a conviction.
yeah, but what are the changes in a person? How should I attribute to that question is what I'm little.
You're wondering. Yeah. Very nice. So, what is your true beingness?
The real Manana, Vijayji.
Yeah. Where can you see the existence in its truest forms? Based on whatever we have discussed, where there is an absence of the ego, that is where the presence of the divine is.
Yeah.
A flower is so miraculously nice because there is no ego that the flower exhibits. Yes, Sarvanji.
Yeah, so this is what has been bothering me for last week. I'm trying to uh, have both because the interaction, the ego is interacting on daily, on minute by minute or daily, or like it's in operating. But I want to stay in the divine and have the ego also operate. And yeah, this still yeah, the ego keeps jumping up and uh, and the the divinity is like I would say like being missed for that moment. Or
Correct. So whenever anyone operates from an ego center, who I
Hmm,
am center, there is a duality that gets naturally
yeah.
created. Whenever it is like a small child, a flower, um, where there is no sense of that identity, that action seems to be very natural. See, a small child may come and say one of the nastiest words, but still nobody would get triggered. Nobody would feel they have to fight it.
Hmm,
As a simple example, if a small baby comes and it says, um, um, "Who you are donkey." Let's say the small child says, "You are donkey." No one would get triggered. Why is it so, Shilpaji?
Um, because we consider the, I mean, on the object, I mean, the person who is saying, right? Because when we refer that person as a child, we consider that person treats everybody same.
Correct. So it is not that the child will simply uh, out of wanting to spite you is saying. So when you understand that, you call that as a very innocence. There is a sense of there is no intent behind that. There is no malice behind it. And you or I or anyone, we are naturally able to sense that innocence. So, what is the true change? You simply go back to who you truly are, a child like state, innocent, pure, loving, kind. Your swabhava shines. See, ego is the one which brings out the gunas, because for guna something is needed, but for swabhava nothing is needed. It shines by itself. So wherever you see such sahaja swabhava, you are at ease in such environments. Among trees and plants, have you noticed your mind naturally relaxes? There is no defense mechanism in the mind. In a natural environment where there is a river flowing, trees and plants and birds, you seem to be at ease. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I'm just relating to a lot of situations which happens in work, right, in IT, especially. Almost everybody, be it any leader, they always say, do this, uh, watch this, because you might be getting something. The purpose why they are coming to you, the purpose why they are asking you, be very vigilant. When we hear all these things, somewhere we are always conditioned to attach to gunas, um, leaving um, the very nature. See, when person is talking to me, I mean, I should talk, right? I should not think about too many things. That is where I'm saying, we are completely deviating from the very purpose uh, of our life in day-to-day activities.
Yeah, because the focus shifts from uh, you and I can tend to see the outer, that is, the person and the personality, than the divine that is speaking through the person.
Yeah.
So, what are the changes after culmination? Nothing. One seems to be okay with everything, or may not even. There is no way to know who has made the true inquiry and has come to a stable inner condition. There is no way to know from outer.
Yeah. Momentarily, at least I feel like I'm free. Like the the walls are broken. It'll come back again, depending on the situation. But momentarily, all the walls are broken, and like I'm free.
So, Shilpa ji, is it all bringing clarity?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Vijay.
Is there anything more anybody would like to add? Saranam ji, Rajita
Yeah,
ji, Anupama ji, anybody?
Vijay, been discussing this, and like every time we discuss, like I still enjoy. It's not like sometimes if you hear the same story, you may not have that much interest, but the same explanation, keep getting it, and like it still keeps me very awake and
Yeah,
yeah, entertaining, I would say.
yeah. Bollywood is the entire Bollywood is built on only love stories, no? But how you combine that love angle.
Mm.
Anupama ji, is there anything that you would like to add, ji?
Nothing, Vijay ji.
Kamla ji, Deepa ji,
No, Vijay ji.
Rajita ji?
Yes, Vijay ji. So, can we go back to our questions
I am on the
that we have?
question. I am on the
Oh,
question.
okay. Sorry, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so, I will try to uh, just to summarize, because we have already discussed in depth. Like you have explained very beautifully that why, what is inquiry, how it triggers, and what is true inquiry. Everything is covered. So, from my perspective, I will just share few words. So, what is that something that seems to appear, and for whom does the something appear? So, for that question, Jiva feels that he is seeking something. So, that something may be happiness, and for whom does that something appear? So, Jiva, at some point of time, he feels that this is not the purpose of my life. This is not why I have come here. So, that is that something is referring to. The true inquiry is by finding out, by identifying the purpose of the real purpose of why this jiva has come to this life, um, then everything, the false illusions get dissolved, and jiva feels that he is very close to that Satchit Ananda state, that bliss. So when moment to moment we experience the bliss and live, and when it is possible for us to live in the present moment, then that is the sign that this is the true inquiry that I am doing, to go towards that bliss, so that Satchit Ananda. So the third one, what triggers the person to begin the true inquiry? Maybe the story that you have mentioned, everything are the trigger points. So in my case, the difficulties that that the difficulties that I faced, maybe financial difficulties, or maybe some relationships problems, or maybe from what I thought, I believed from my childhood and from from the society, which was the purpose of my life. Those uh, identities collapsed. Those identities, um, like for example, if I have too much attachment to the money, if somebody somebody somehow they take it away from us, or some relationships, if it breaks suddenly, so all those are the triggers for a person to begin the true inquiry. So why some people are not triggered? Because of their false they believe that the false identities are the they enjoy with those identities, and because of the luxury, few people, because they are comfortable, they don't want to get out of that situation, and they believe that this is the permanent. They Because of that ignorance, they are not triggered. So like as you told, it is our sukruta to come, because of our past lives, good karmas. uh, some The true inquiry has triggered in us, in all of us, and that is why we are attending this satsanga. So when does this true inquiry end, or what are the exit conditions? The moment I'm able to stay in present moment, each and every second, and that ego, when it disappears, and when I'm always able to feel the oneness, and when there is no the duality, then I think that is the exit condition. When I'm happy all the time, um, that is a exit condition. So what are the changes in a person after okay um that is what it was answered. So the person is not operated from any of the identities. He is not biased by any situations or any of the triggers. He is free from all the identities, that and he is able to live for the Atmano Mokshartam and Jagadhitaya. So that is the changes that we can see out of true inquiry. So that is my perspective, Vijayji.
Very nice. Very nice.
Rajita ji, one point I got when you were explaining about Vijay ji, can I ask?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, you said about the purpose of life. You made that statement. So should we say that purpose of my life is knowing about who I am? Is that my purpose? Is that the purpose? I mean, is that the purpose you are referring to, or uh, do we do we have do we have any purpose? More, I mean, I know knowing myself definitely is a purpose, but is that the only purpose? Is my question.
See, it depends. By knowing what, I feel that I know everything, and and I feel calm inside. I feel peaceful, and I feel that there is nothing to know anything. So that is what our Vedas are telling. By knowing what, or by gaining which knowledge, you feel that kind of that is what is liberation, right? That is what the Vedas are referring to as moksha. You are not bound to this body. When you're not bound to this body, when you're not bound to this mind limitations of the intellect, then you are liberated. Then you feel that there is nothing to achieve, there is no one, nowhere to go, no one to impress, to feel that bliss, the state of bliss. So that itself is so every moment to moment we'll feel that joy, the bliss. So I need not go anywhere, I need not uh, do struggle for achieving something. That is a state of liberation. That is what our Vedas, our Shankara, the texts, if we go through our Aparokshanubhuti, Tattva Bodha, and Viveka Chudamani, all the Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasa Granthas, which were explained by Adi Shankaracharya and other great rishis, they tell that this is the highest state that a human being can reach, and on reaching that, he is liberated, Jivan Mukta state. Once you become the Jivan Mukta state, because you have some prarabdha karma, you can help others to attain that state. So that is why all this granthas and all the spiritual leaders are trying. They want others also feel this state of happiness. So that is the main purpose. That is what Vedas and Shastras are telling from thousands of years. So that is my knowledge. Was it answerable? You got the answer, Shilpaji?
Yeah, I got the answer. Thanks, Rajita ji.
Okay, welcome.
So that's why, Shilpaji, the Vedic statement, Atmano Mokshartham Jagadhitaya cha. So Atmano Mokshartham means you have always been free, realize that freedom. Okay, now that I realize that I am free, that I don't really need to achieve anything in particular, but what is that, there is an instrument now. And what is the purpose that the instrument has to be put to? And that is the Jagaditaya. So in the relational world, in the world of duality, in the what we refer as the transactional world, though it may be a mithya world, as you see, there is a movement. There is a movement that can be towards everyone's liberation. Among all the different activities that you can be involved with, among all the different purposes that you can achieve in life, even after your own liberation, what is that is the most closest to you? Why would the mother want to offer anything to the child? Even when the child has grown, even when you are very adult and you are self-sufficient. When you go to your mother, she wants to treat you with kindness and love and give you some food and make something that is nice for you. Why? That's the nature of a mother. That's the very innate nature of a mother, expressing through that object of, what do you like, what can I give you. So the sense of belongingness, the sense of having served someone is so deep for Atman, you, that you feel truly joyful. You feel the joy in its all glory when someone becomes truly happy. That is why you and I notice, whether you have Atmajnana or not, whether you come into the Satsanga or not, just naturally, you feel happy when someone else is happy because of whatever you have done. That's the innate nature of life. It may be somebody is thirsty, you gave water, and suddenly their face lit up and they said, "Thank you very much. You know how thirsty I was." You feel very happy. Someone fell on the road and you simply lifted them up and dusted them. They look at you and in their eyes you see some kritagnata. That makes you feel very happy. So your happiness, when others are truly happy, is naturally set in you. That is how you are. That is your very nature. So therefore, it is but natural that when, though the world is mithya, meaning what? It is impermanent. The service of the world, service to the world, service of all the beings, and using the jnana that the great rishis have given, is seen as the highest. Because once when someone is truly liberated, that joy is it cannot be described.
Vijayji, so mm, since I am not this finite body mind, but this advice is to the
This advice is to this
aham.
instrument, so the aham.
Mm,
So see, now I can use, now that I know my aham is unreal,
uh,
I know that my aham doesn't really have a true existence.
uh,
But now the mind and the body are there. The instrument is there. The BMI is there. So how to use the BMI? And with what identity should the BMI now exist? Now the BMI, like how Rajita ji said, there's a prarabdha. Everything has a momentum. Till the momentum is there, this BMI will continue to be there. So what do I use this BMI for? So this is when I look at who am I am all. So who should I serve? I should serve all. But I can also create very clear, focused. Okay, I cannot be serving all. Doesn't mean that I will go and give food to everybody. I cannot be giving books to everybody. So what is that I want to use this BMI for? So like that, I can create a purpose. Like for example, when you look at Narsim Prabhuji, what is that he is using his BMI for? For creating a movement called as Biscuits Gurukula. Why? Because through the Gurukula process, many more children will get that enlightened wisdom and have a wonderful life. So through that, the society itself transforms. So among all the different actions he could have done, this is the action that he has chosen to dedicate his BMI for. Likewise, if you
yeah.
notice the life of any great master,
Mm,
they have a very clear outcome focused, a purposeful activity. But the purpose is usually the same. Jagaditaya. May whatever that is be of value to everybody. It is not meant for a particular caste or creed or gender. When you notice the action of a liberated master. So there is the indication of what enables you to live such a life.
Yeah. Um, so this is where I I I have realized through the teachings that I am just a pure awareness. I'm not, and as a pure awareness, the aware, no action happens. But I also play the dual role of I am this driver of this body, and
Yeah, now you are with awareness, you are a driver. You
uh,
know you are using the ego.
uh,
You know you are using the ego called I'm speaking on behalf of Prabhuji. I know I'm using the ego of founder of Viskits Gurukula. If somebody comes and says, who's the founder of Viskits Gurukula? He will stand up and say, I am the founder of Viskits Gurukula. So only a ego can give
yeah,
such an answer, no? But there is a pure awareness of, I'm using this ego.
uh, uh, yeah. I think that's art.
Ah,
That like operating from that, I am that awareness, and I'm playing this role. Like how actor will act, knowing that I'm not this role, but I am this acting it. Yeah, yeah. So that that awareness has to be always there throughout every moment when the ego is interacting.
and that is why I gave the example of the childlike innocence.
Yeah.
So who ate the candy?
Mm,
A little child, who has eaten the candy will raise the hand and say, I ate. But the innocence doesn't make somebody feel angry or upset or sad. The child simply is owning.
mm,
The child has no malintention. So when the ego is used in such a manner, ego is not at all harmful.
mm,
Ego,
mm,
it's like the knife, no? It's the wielder of the knife who determines the focus of the knife, whether to kill or whether
mm,
to heal. So, like that, ego by itself is not the culprit. It is a wrong understanding of who I am that causes
mm,
the ego to take that uh, destructive dual role. The same ego is now transformed into a Valmiki. He had to become Valmiki. He had to have the identity of Valmiki.
mm,
Ratnakara had to become Valmiki. Then only Ramayana could be produced.
mm, mm. Yeah,
You are useful to the world only as a ego.
yeah. I was trying to stay in the conscious in the pure awareness state.
That is
Yeah,
for your inner freedom.
it's
But to the world,
in the world. Yeah.
see, just as an example, as silence, as space, you're truly useful, correct?
Uh,
But where needed, you have to become the sound. Where needed, you have to become the form.
mm,
That is the true meaning of liberation. If it is not, when there is a situation when sound is needed and there is no sound coming, it means that uh, liberation is not complete.
But how do we know? How do we realize when that need is coming?
How do you know your child needs a care? How do you know your child needs something?
Mm,
As a
it's
mother,
natural.
it's very natural. That's all it is. It's very natural when you see somebody suffering.
Mm.
It is not an intellectual process. It's a process of your heart. All right. Anything more anybody wants to say or ask? Okay. Then let us end our today's session. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu.